I think a lot of people think that managers make influencers, and that's not our job at all. Like, you need to already be a creator, be doing something for you to come to management.
Hello and welcome back to Out of Office with Kim. I'm your host, Kimberly Cumberbatch, and today we are joined by South London legend. Please introduce yourself.
Chlöe Downes.
Ding! Chlöe Downes, tell us, what do you do, darling?
I'm the founder and CEO of SHFT, which is an influencer talent management agency.
So we've always got to start with a bit of a little buzz question. So obviously, as we're both from South London, my buzz question to you is, why does everybody hate South London?
Do you know what? Look, people hate what they can't be. Do you get what I mean? Do you get what I mean? I get it. I get it.
The root of it all.
The thing is that I do think, like, South Londoners are the most patriotic of people.
I do agree.
I think because you even see it on like reality TV shows. When someone's from South London, it will always be like, oh, Chlöe Downes from South London. Whereas if I was from anywhere else, it'd just say Chlöe Downes, London.
Yep,
do you know
exactly.
What I mean?
And I do agree with that. There is a bit of a slander going on, but we're here to show you that you can be from South and you can achieve anything.
Everyone from South is doing well.
Exactly. And that's why today we're going to get into you, darling, right? So we started the episode, we always ask everyone the same question, right? What was your first job and what did it teach you?
My first job was in a soft play area. So, you know, like the big jungle, like indoor jungle gyms. If people are from South London, it was Adventure Kingdom in Bromley.
I know exactly the one.
You know what I'm talking about? It was like literally by the Glades entrance.
Yep.
Fantastic spot, because I used to go there as a kid. So I worked there. I don't know what my job title was, but basically everyone did everything. So we were the receptionist, the party host, because kids did like birthday parties there, party hosts, we were cleaners, we were cooks, we literally did everything. And to this day, I think it was my favorite job of my whole life. Like, I absolutely love that job. I worked there, I think in total for like 3 years, I think, which again, my longest job, even longer than SHFT actually. Now I'm thinking about it, it's literally my longest job ever. But I'm trying to think what it taught me. I think from a management perspective, in terms of like being a manager of people, it taught me that was my first experience of a really bad boss. A really bad boss. Yeah, absolutely terrible. But I think it really taught me a lot about teamwork and just getting, can you swear on this?
Yes.
Getting shit done. Because you did, like, no one was really making sure you were doing things. The bosses weren't really like doing anything themselves. So like as a team collective, we just all worked with each other to get things done, basically. I also was coming into work hungover pretty much like every day. So it was also a lesson of just getting on with it, basically, literally just getting on with it.
So fast and forward to adulthood, right? Before we got to SHFT, let's talk about your beginnings.
Yeah.
Where did you start?
In life?
Yeah, since the day you were
King's
born.
College Hospital.
Like
24th
before
of
you
July.
got to SHFT, what was your introduction to influencer management?
Yeah, so that was very much an accident. Ooh. So I went to uni and studied event management, which even going to uni and doing events management was after I had like some mental breakdown, because I'd been training pretty much my whole life to be like a dancer or an actor. Like I'd been doing dance.
Pause.
Yes.
Let's go back. Dancer, actor. Just break open that for a little bit.
So from 6 years old, I was performing. So I was doing musical theatre from 6 in a place it's now called Theatre Peckham. It's had like a bunch of names.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know
John Boyega went there. I used to act with him. So like he was in the same like cohort as me growing up. So I went there and I was doing musical theatre. I actually can't sing, but you know when you're a baby, everyone can sing anyway.
Can sing
Do you know what I mean?
young.
Once my voice started, it didn't work. But I was good at acting and dancing. So yeah, from 6, I was performing like on stage to a lot of people. So 6, I had like quite a big role in the like first big play I was in. Had solos, had a bunch of lines, and took time off school to basically perform like
so it was
weekly.
serious.
Yeah. I think from like 6 to 16, I was doing it. But like from what are you when you're 6? Like year 2. From year 2 to like year 6, I think I was like taking time off school to basically go and perform. So I was doing that, and then when I was around 8, I then realised I really like the dancing element of this, so started taking dance more seriously. When I was 15, I then got into Laban, which is like one of the best dance schools. I don't know if it's in the world, but definitely the best dance schools in the UK anyway. So I started training at Laban, and I was training hard, so I was doing dance, I think twice a week at school for like GCSE. And then I was doing all day Saturdays, like pretty much 9 to 5 on a Saturday. I would be training like ballet and contemporary, and then I was doing a bunch of stuff after school as well. So I think my discipline came from that, because like on a Saturday when everyone else is going and playing and whatever.
around,
Like, 'cause I was 15 at that point, so people are actually going out on a Saturday.
Drinking.
Basically, yeah. You know what I mean? In the park, couple of cans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going and literally spending my whole day dancing, and like, this is ballet, so it's not even joke dancing, this is serious dancing. So yeah, I was doing that from young. So I'd put so much time into that craft, and genuinely was like, I've spent my whole life doing this. I'm obviously going to become a dancer or an actress. I generally lean to dance because you can get really far with dance without ever being famous. And
This is very true. You don't want the fame.
I don't like that. So whereas with acting, like, you have to be successful, you kind of have to become famous.
Yeah.
So I kind of lean more towards dance.
But what made you stop this?
So this is the thing. And I think looking back, it's probably my biggest regret, where when I then went to college, because I went to a college in Clapham, and then Larbin is in Deptford. So going from like my area to Clapham to Deptford was just so much traveling, especially straight after like college or school or whatever. So it was just a lot. And I also wasn't the best at Larbin because I hadn't done ballet since I was a baby, whereas like there was loads of girls that had been doing ballet since they were like 3 basically. And I wasn't the best at ballet, and I'd never not been the best in dance, because when I was at school I was the best because I'd done training outside. I was like, I just had the toxic trait of I want to be the best all the time, and I wasn't the best. And I remember going to my like tutor at the dance school, and I said to him I was gonna like quit basically. I think I'd done like a year within this dance school, and I was like, I'm gonna quit. And I remember he said to me, and like obviously I'm 16 at the time, so it didn't hit me what he'd said, but he was like, you're not the best, but you're the person who's improved the most. And realistically, that's what you should be looking for. Yeah. As a 16-year-old, I don't care.
Yeah, that's very fair.
I'm not the best.
If I'm not the best, forget it. Yeah.
This is it. So it is a shame, because I think I gave up from that point. And then that's kind of when I went through this thing where I was like, what the hell do I do now?
Wow.
Because I spent pretty much my whole, like literally since 6 years old, I've spent my whole life training for this, and I have no idea what to do. And I think I was in a bit of a weird position where I was quite naughty at school, but I was always in all of the top sets. So I was like always getting A's in maths and science and all of those kinds of things. So I could go and, I don't know, like train to be a doctor if I really wanted to. But I was also like, but I also really like dance. Do I go and do dance? And I had no idea because I had too many options.
Yep.
And I sat down with my mum, and my mum basically said, look, you're in a difficult position, because when you're good at one thing, you're sorted. Like, you just do
when
that
you're
thing
good at loads
forever.
of things.
It's so difficult to choose what you want to do, because there's so many different, you're going to live with some level of regret where it's like, I could have done this, and like, what would have happened in my life like that.
Especially at that age as well.
This is what I'm saying.
Where I also think is a bit too young to make definitive decisions.
This is it.
I think uni's too young in general.
100%. Because you have to start thinking about it when you're 16, 17, which is just such a weird thing to like, this is what I'm going to do with my whole life forever. So it got to a time where we were trying to figure out like uni, and luckily for me, my parents had never really pushed me too tough, where it was like I didn't need to go to uni if I didn't want to. I think I only went to uni to prove to people that I could go to uni, basically, which again is a regret, but whatever. So yeah, we went through, my mum bought this like massive university book that had like all the different courses.
Yeah.
Big book, bro.
I had that as well, because I was similar. Like, I didn't know exactly, I knew I wanted to go to uni because, did I? Whatever. Everyone else was doing
This is it.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. But I didn't know what to study. So then I had to go through that, and that's how I ended up doing anthropology.
Biggest book.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yes,
to be fair,
you.
I feel like my mum just kind of went through the book for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not reading that. But yeah, we went through the book, and she was basically like, cool, what are your skills and what do you like to do? So it was like, all right, I like being creative, but I actually am also very organized. Like, I'm quite logical. Like, what joins both of those things? And event management seemed to be good, because it's kind of behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
But you're being creative, but you're also, it's a very logical job.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how I ended up studying event management. Did a 4-year course. It was a sandwich course.
Ooh, where did you go for your sandwich? What did you do?
I moved to South Africa, so I moved to Cape Town.
Sick.
Did you not know this?
No.
Huh.
I've never known this, but now we're going to learn.
There we go. Moved to Cape.
What did you do in Cape Town then?
To be fair, Cape Town would be a whole podcast episode on its own, because there was a whole drama in there. But anyway, went to Cape Town. I started off as, what was it? It was like, I'd gone out there on a voluntary visa because I was meant to be working for a charity. It then ended up there was a lot of scamming going on with this charity. So it was all a bit weird, right? I decided I'm not being part of this scam, so I needed to then find another job. So that was like part of like a sports charity, where basically in South Africa, they don't have, you see how like PE, everyone has PE at school. They didn't have any physical education within school. Like, it wasn't compulsory. So only like the rich schools would basically do it, and then the poorer schools wouldn't. And basically there was a discrepancy between like what was being offered, because there's quite a lot of divide anyway in South Africa, as I'm sure you're aware. But basically it was like the rich schools would like pay for this group to come in and teach them PE.
Yep.
And then for every like 4 rich schools, they would go to like a poorer school for free, basically.
Okay. Yep.
So it sounded nice, but there was some weird stuff
going on. Yeah,
some weird stuff going on in the background. So once I kind of clocked onto this weird scam that they were doing, I decided, I don't want to be part of this. So I then became a wedding planner, which is just really funny.
Wow, that's fun.
Wedding planning is so intense because to you, it's just a job, right? Like you're just getting on with this event. But that's
someone's life.
In their head, that's the only time they're going to do this, like this thing. It was fun though. And weddings in Cape Town are the most beautiful weddings. Like I feel like I don't really care about getting married, but like if I did, I couldn't do it in England now because
you've had that experience.
Like mountains in the background and just sun all the time.
So you went from wedding planning, and then where did you go?
So I did wedding planning, came back to uni, obviously finished my degree, and then I'd done like quite a lot of jobs throughout uni anyway. And then I went in. What was my first job out of uni? Oh, I started working in a like a venue called Old Billingsgate. It's a massive venue, like just by, where is it? Like London Bridge area, but it's like a really old venue. But basically I was like renting the venue out to events people basically. And it was like, I found it so boring because I didn't actually have to do anything. I just emailed people, organised the date.
And that's it. You didn't get the creativity
That was basically,
side
so I wasn't actually doing the events. I was just coordinating people coming into the space. I was so bored. So I literally was there for 3 months. I was like, yeah, no, it's not for me. And I remember when I left, my boss was like, I knew you were going to leave. Because basically, she, to be fair, looking back, it's a bit mad. She was literally like, yeah, you were too good for this place. Like, what about everyone else?
But you know what? Fair.
It was true. So then I went to another events company. That was cool, actually. So I was actually doing the events this time, and it was all around the world. So I think I worked there for 9 months, and I think for 9 months I probably was in the UK maximum like of 2 weeks at a time. Like I was always everywhere. Really cool because I got to go to places that realistically I would never have been to. Like I went to Nicaragua, hadn't even heard of it before. Nicaragua, I went to like I was in Austin for 2 weeks. Like I was flying all over the place, which was really fun. But I didn't really like the company I was working for, so I ended up leaving. And that's how I then got to talent management. So I've never not had a job since I was 16. Like I've had back-to-back jobs since I was 16. I think since I was 16, I've had 2 weeks off in my life. So I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that, please. Take a day off. Take a day off.
Take breaks. Your body needs breaks.
Especially if you're trying to start your own company as well, because once you start your own company, no days off. There's no days off. So when you can,
we'll get to that.
We will. But yeah, when you can take a break for that's hustle culture is dangerous, but it's the time I grew up in. But so I'd never not had a job. So when I knew I wanted to leave that company, I was like, I need to find another job. And at that point, they'd kind of tarnished events for me, where I was like, I don't think I want to go back into corporate events, and I can't bother with that. So I was kind of just on a bit of a, I just need to find a job, and then I'll figure it out from there. Like I'll figure out what my long-term goals are. So I went on to Social Fixed on like the Facebook group, which is by, it's a group by Mercedes Benson. It's a really cool resource actually. It's like job, I keep on doing that, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Job board basically. And there was a post there that was asking for I can't remember what the role was, basically an influencer talent assistant. At that point, I didn't follow any influencers. I didn't follow any influencers. The only 2 people that didn't follow me back, because I was that person that I would check. I'd have that little app that'd be like, oh, this person don't get unfollowed. The only people that didn't follow me back was The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson,
which
and
is
Rihanna.
Fair. Also very fair as well.
Rihanna's the only person that will ever allow that to happen to. You know what I mean? Other than that. But
everyone else, no. Okay.
Yeah, everyone else, you don't follow. No, I'm joking. No, I don't care anymore. But at that point, I was like...
That's how much you didn't engage with
I didn't...
celebs.
I've never really been that into celebrity culture anyway.
This is so interesting.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? I think I don't see people as above or below me. Like,
of course,
just because of who you are. Even like throughout school, just because you're a teacher, in my opinion, that didn't mean that I had to listen to you. Like, unless you've proven to me that you actually know what you're talking about, I don't take your word more so than I take someone else's word. You know what I mean? So I think I've never really cared that much about celebrity culture generally. So but Rihanna's, I'm Bayesian, man. Do you know what I mean? You gotta you gotta roll for Rihanna.
This is very fair. I'll accept the Rihanna.
Yeah. I don't follow The Rock anymore, sorry. But, because he didn't follow me back.
He's going to watch this.
Yeah, he's going to, and he's like,
no, you know what? Why didn't I follow her? I'm going to send this clip
That would
to
be
him.
funny, I can't lie.
I'm going to DM him this
I'm going to get a follow from The Rock.
And you have me to thank.
It's true. No, but then he'll be like, this chick don't even follow me. Shame.
Maybe you should follow him when you get home tonight, because you never know what could happen. So, anyways, you weren't into celebrities, you weren't into the influencers.
I wasn't into it. So, literally, I saw it and I was like, like I'll do it for now, I'm sure I'll be all right at it. And then basically while I'm there, I'll figure out what it is that I want to do next, and then I'll apply for that job. Because I had no issue job hopping, which I think everyone should. Like, if a job isn't serving you should go to another one.
Absolutely.
And whatever. So I applied for this job, blagged it hard. And I can't lie, I'm very good at blagging, which I personally, as a manager now, I don't really have a problem with people blagging it as long as you can back it up when you get there. Yes. And I know I can back it up. So I was just blagging it. I was trying to pretend that I knew all these people. I don't know who any of these people are. But I got there and I made it work. So started there. As I say, it was meant to be just a filler job while I figured out what I wanted to do next. But started there, realised I was really good at it. I actually enjoyed it. I liked the team that I was working with because it was quite a small team. So I could learn very quickly because I literally sat next to the guy who owned the company.
What bits of it specifically did you like? Because I think as well, people don't understand what the hell I do. They have no idea what influencer man, like on the back end, they have no idea what it looks like. So what were the bits that stood out to you that you thought, I actually really like this job? Yeah,
I feel like I've always been quite business minded. Like at school I had I had a nail shop at one point where I literally employed people. Looking back, it was 100% slave labor, but it was school. I don't know. But yeah, I had a nail shop. I had like a very serious tuck shop. I wasn't doing up joke profits. Like I was my dad was taking me to Costco.
There was always one person in your year who was doing up tuck
100%.
shop.
My dad was taking me like Costco and Macro, whatever it was, and I was getting the cheap ones and actually doing good profit margins because other people were getting it from Sainsbury's and getting 20p profit. Come on, what's the point?
This is very true.
So anyway, so I'd always been quite business minded, and I think in terms of like talent management, it's a lot about like negotiation. I also think I'm someone who I think always really wants to like get the best from people. Like I always put people on stuff, and I think being a talent manager is really pushing for someone to get the best. If you're a good talent manager anyway, I think you're really pushing for someone to get the best deal possible, and also something that makes sense for them, is fair for them.
Absolutely.
So I think that's something that I kind of brought to it. And I think there is some level of creativity to it. I think as you kind of move up, you get more creativity because you have a bit more, like people trust you more to like have those conversations. But
so what exactly inspired you to start Shift? Did you think there was something missing?
Yeah. So
what did you think?
So I worked for that company for a year, and I did actually genuinely enjoy it. Like I haven't got a bad word to say about that company. I really enjoyed it, but they weren't giving me the kind of responsibility that I wanted, and we only managed one black person at the time. So everyone else on the roster was white and middle class. And I managed more people, but I managed the guy that was black and working class. And I just remember I could feel how I was working for him. I was working hard for everyone, but I didn't mind when I had to stay late to work to like make him money. And I really wanted to make him money.
Because there's a massive gap, isn't there, in the industry? We know white creators often get paid way more.
And it's changed so much now. Like I started in this industry like 6 years ago, I think now. The change is crazy. You never used to see loads of people on campaigns. Like realistically, you kind of see Patricia Bright on a campaign, and that was kind of it. Like you'd see one tick box, and they'd be like, "Oh, we've done the brown thing. Like it's cool. We don't have to do anything else." You didn't see nothing in terms of like LGBTQ plus people, no disabilities. You didn't see any of that like intersectionality. So it was something with me where I was like, we're in London. Our roster is not reflecting the world that I live in anyway. We're literally based in Vauxhall. Like I'm looking out the window, this ain't looking like how like the environment. So I'd kind of been pushing for my boss to like let's get some more people in, and like I was like, I'm happy to lead that. Like I'll do it myself. I remember I sent messages to sending a message to Uche. Who else did I message? Uche. I don't know, a bunch of people. Basically, I messaged like a bunch of like these big black creators at the time, and didn't get that many responses, but it's all right. It's cool. We're cool now. Exactly, I tried. But no, I did get a few responses, and there was black creators that were actually really interested in like having those conversations with me, because there actually wasn't that many black people like in the industry, on the other side of the industry generally. Yes. So there was some level of, look, this girl actually gets our background, I can actually talk about hair campaigns and understand it, or like understand colorism and texturism, all of that kind of stuff. So it was something where it could have happened, but my boss just wasn't like pushing it to the degree that I wanted to be pushed. So I ended up getting poached by another agency, and they offered me like 10 grand more than what I was on, because I wasn't getting paid very much. So I moved over to that agency and basically like helped them to build the talent arm of their agency, because they just had like marketing. Okay. So I helped them build that. Was there for a year, didn't really like working for them, to be honest. So I left. And to be honest, when I did leave, I actually had no desire to carry on working in talent management, because I think again they'd kind of tarnished talent management for me. I feel like that happens a lot with me. Someone makes me not want to do something anymore. I'm like, oh, don't do it. So I left for being like, I'm not going to do this anymore. and started doing something completely different. And as I'm doing this other job, I was like, no, do you know what? It's not that I didn't like managing talent. It's that I didn't like working for that business. So actually maybe I should just do my own thing, because then I'll just build a company that I'm happy with, basically. And I think that was one of my main kind of driving factors, where I've had genuinely 10 million jobs and I've never been fully happy at any of them. And I thought this is a really cool opportunity for me to build a company where people are actually happy to work within the company. I'll be happy to work there, but also other people will be happy to work there. So that was one thing. But also in terms of what was missing, I went from an agency in an industry at that time that didn't really care about diversity. Like it wasn't the top of anyone's list, to then a real shift in the industry, especially around 2020, where it was like, oh, diversity really matters and we must do diversity.
Black Lives Matter.
This is it. But the thing is, but what reasons are you doing this for? Like it was never for the right reason. It was very much like, oh, this looks really good. And you can always tell, because those websites will have diversity, black, everything, like they'll have so many buzzwords on their website. But then you look at their team page and it's a full white team. Or like, at least if there are black people, they're all at the bottom, or people of color, they're all at the bottom. And then the higher up you go, you don't see anyone anymore. So I think I was like, I'm actually not, this sounds counterproductive, but like, I'm not going to focus on diversity and inclusion, because it should just be innate. Like you shouldn't have to try to do it. Like it should just happen. And if you look at Shift's website, we never say diversity on the website, because you just shouldn't have to. Exactly. You don't need to. And what's funny is that I get emails on a regular basis being like, oh, Chloe, like I know your agency really pushes for diversity. You're all about it. And I'm like, yeah, but we didn't even mention it. And you know that. Whereas when you look at the agencies that are mentioning it, are they doing it? Do you know what I mean? And even with our hiring practices, like, I've tried to strip away as many barriers to entry, because I realized that the reason that the marketing industry is so white and middle class is because there's so many barriers to get in. So like, you've got to have like 2 years experience to get an entry-level job. Very true. Which realistically
holds people back. Exactly. Where are they going to get the experience from if you don't give them the opportunity?
That's it. You don't get the opportunity. And also like, what the opportunity that you do have is an unpaid internship, where like, if you come from a working class background, because it's not actually, it's mainly a class thing than a race thing, I think.
Yes.
When you come from a working class background and you live in, I don't know, like a one parent household or whatever, you've got a bunch of siblings, whatever, your parent isn't going to be able to pay for you to do get the travel to go to the job and the lunch to go to the job. Yeah. Where, cool, you could maybe go and do the job for free, but it's all of the other elements of even getting there and like being able to do that. And actually maybe you need to contribute to your household. So you can't go and chill for 3 months and not get any money. So that was quite a big thing for me. So to basically
how have you changed your hiring practices to tailor to this?
Yeah, so the first person I brought on to the team was Adam, who I'd worked with before. So I met him at my previous job. So we both worked at that agency. And it's because I knew what he was about. We got on instantly when we like started working together, because we have very similar like ethics and standards and like work rate and all of that kind of thing. He's also someone that I can like bounce ideas off of. He's also someone who tells me when I'm like, I can ask him if I'm being rude, because I feel like I literally send him emails like, should I send this? Is this mad?
You know what? You do need someone in your life to do a little check, because sometimes even when you think your tone is calm, sometimes I show people and they're like, that is very rude.
That's it. Because the thing is, I read it back and I'm like, this fair enough.
And I got straight to the point. But sometimes I even think I could be ruder, and that's why I think this is a fine email. But it isn't.
Yeah, sometimes I have to strip the South out of my emails for real, and that's Adam's from Milton Keynes, so he can strip that right back. But yeah, no, I do think as a business owner, you need to realize where you like what you lack and bring people in that can help you with what you lack.
Yes.
And I think Adam is good, like a balance for me, because I think I'm quite like, I can like get angry quite quickly and like I get passionate or whatever, and he'll be like, it's not that deep, like let's chill out. But also Adam comes from a more traditional talent background where like he does the TV stuff and I didn't really do that. Like I did book deals at my last agency, but like not that much in that space. So I knew that was a helpful thing for me to bring on. So he was the first person. And then after him, I was like, I'm only going to, for the foreseeable future anyway, I'm only going to hire like entry-level talent to basically get more people into this industry. And my thing was always, I don't expect people to stay with me forever, because I weren't staying at no company, I was jumping around. So fair. I think I don't expect people to stay with me forever, but what would be great is if they can come to Shift, they can get a really good like training, and then they're going off into the industry, and that's actually just diversifying the industry.
That is a very interesting approach, because I don't know if a lot of business owners, CEOs think about watering the talent they have so that they can then contribute to whatever society, whichever place they're working, which is very interesting to hear you say that, because no one ever says anything like that.
Let's be realistic, like it's especially nowadays, especially with like the generations that are going on, like that are coming into work now, they're not going to be the generation that's going to stay in. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the thing. Like if you look at like people of our parents' age, our grandparents' age, they were chilling in the same job from 18 to the day they retired. And that was cool. That was cool for them. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is also, there wasn't as many like interesting industries going on. Like it was like, especially if you're working class, you're going to go and work in, I don't know, like as a nurse or a service, but whatever it is. So I think there's so many more opportunities now that I think 100% people should move around. Obviously, if you find a company that you love, chill there. But also generally, again, depending on how your manager is, you're probably going to get more opportunities by moving around anyway, because generally people don't promote people within.
Very true.
I do, because I had definitely had that at old companies where I'm like, I should have been promoted time ago, and
nothing's happened,
and I'm having to like beg for a promotion. Like I don't ever want my team to have to feel like they need to ask for a raise, ask for a promotion, whatever. I give them raises and promotions without them asking. Because
and do you think this approach makes like the working culture better in comparison to other places you've worked?
I think so, because like with our team at the moment, both of the junior members of the team have been with us for a minimum of 2 years. And Shift is only 3.5 years old. So, do you know what I mean? Like, no one's left the company ever.
Yet. I'm joking. They obviously haven't.
No, good reason. But yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, again, like, it's fine if they do. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at people if they do, because I'm aware of the fact that I'd like to think that I've built a work culture that's people enjoy coming to work. It's a culture where, and this was the key for me, that I don't want anyone to ever feel stupid for asking a question, because I think if you're really pushing diversity and inclusion and you're a diverse team, you need to be okay with like checking if it's all right to say something, or how does this work or whatever. Because like, for example, we've got a creator who's got natural hair, and the girl who manages her is Asian. So like she and also doesn't come from London, so she doesn't come from a background where she would have learned about natural hair particularly. So she should feel comfortable enough to be like, oh, Chloe, you know, they've asked her to shampoo her hair 3 times in a week. Is that all right? Like, no, it's not.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas I remember being at my old company, and I remember talking about natural hair, and there was a white girl who was like, oh, but my hair's natural. And I said, yeah, but that's not the natural hair movement. These are 2 different things.
Yes.
And she was trying to argue with me within a meeting about natural hair. And I thought, no one's even bothering to stick up, because none of you even know what.
Yeah, but also they don't understand.
Of you know this, exactly. And actually, I literally wrote my whole dissertation about natural hair, so I promise you, I know what I'm talking about.
And it grows from my
This
hair.
Is it.
So,
do you know what I mean?
It's called lived experience.
That's it, exactly. And I think that's the thing, and like it's certain environments don't foster those conversations, and I think also some environments foster fear, where it's like, oh, I'm too scared to say anything because I might be called racist, I might be called homophobic, I might be called whatever, when actually generally when you're asking questions, you're just trying to learn. As long as you're not coming from a point of malice, I think it's fine for people to feel like they can say whatever they want, share whatever opinions they want. Whether I agree with you or not doesn't matter. I'm just going to share the information that I need for you to do your job and whatever, because Adam's a straight white guy. So he needs to be able to like ask me different things. To be fair, he knows most stuff anyway. But do you know what I mean? Like it just And obviously, like we joke around and we banter with each other, but everyone knows that you can ask a question if you need to ask a question.
So obviously, you're talking about your staff, diverse representation matters, and such things. What about when you're getting talent on? What do you look for? Are you quite intentional in terms of the people that you bring on board?
Yeah. So again, we don't say, oh, we need a black person, so let's sign this person. Oh, we don't do that, because we just sign people because they're the best at what they do, or because we think they're really amazing, or we think they've got really good potential. And then by doing so and just looking at people for their talent, you then get a diverse roster, because you're not trying to tick boxes.
Very true.
When actually I think I've seen it on the flip side with other agencies, where they're trying to tick boxes and then they're just signing people because of their colour or because of whatever box it is that they tick. And actually they're not really a good creator. Do you know what I mean? They just tick a box, and then you don't end up keeping them because they're not a good creator and they're not. Do you know what I mean? So I think we'd rather just sign great people, because we're actually not. People think we're an agency that just signs minority talent. We're not. We will sign a straight white guy. We just haven't.
If he's the best at what he does.
Yeah. I'll just be real. Like I'm not that interested in any straight white guys' content
right now
at the moment. I don't think so. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
I started thinking about that as well. There might I have a
There probably is. I just can't
I'd have to think consciously.
That's the thing. The thing is not coming to the top of my head. So,
but anyways, your actual roster naturally has become diverse just because of the way you've gone about it.
Everyone on our roster at the moment is from. Oh, actually, no. We've just signed someone who's like still within their trial period, but prior to her, everyone was from a minority group, basically. But it's not intentional.
It's just happened.
It's just
so
happened.
A question I have for you, which is also a question I actually asked you a few months ago. When should people think about seeking management or receiving, I suppose, management? Because I just think this whole industry, there's so many misconceptions about management and what it means if you get it, and that means you've made it and all this kind of stuff. So let's debunk some of that. But yeah, what advice would you give to someone who's looking or thinking about it?
Yeah, I think that's what you said is the first thing. Like, I don't think it's an achievement. I think people need to stop putting such a big, like those like big announcement posts about people getting signed. I personally don't like, because I don't think it is an achievement. Like, it's great and it's like part of your team and you're building your team out, but it's not like a badge of honor that you've got a manager. Because trust me, there's some real shit managers out there. So like, you don't always want one.
This is very true.
And also sometimes you don't even need one. Like, so I think I wish people would stop making such a big deal about getting management, because then I think it would stop pushing people into getting management when they don't need it, or getting it too early or whatever.
But that's because of the misconceptions surrounding it.
Exactly. Because people think, oh, I'm not making it if I haven't got a manager.
Yes. So when would you say is the right time for a creator to have management?
There's not like a right time in terms of like, oh, you've been doing it for a year, or you've got X amount of followers, now it's time for you to get it. It's more so about like what your needs are and what you're potentially lacking. So I think if you've got to a point where you're getting crazy brand deals, you're having to do emails all the time, and you're spending more time doing your admin than you are creating, then it might be time for you to get a manager. If you feel like you're doing well, but like you've hit the ceiling essentially, and you need someone to be able to like get you past there and level up, then that might be time for you to get a manager. But yeah, it's not like there's definitely not a one size fits all approach to things. And actually there's people who are massive and don't have management, and actually have just asked their friend to help them with their emails. Do you know what I mean? There's different.
I think because for me personally, obviously I'm a creator, and for a long time, literally what you said, when people got signed, I thought this is it. I won't feel like I've made it until I get signed. But then when I spoke to you, and obviously you spoke about like, do you need it? Is it overwhelming? X, Y, and Z. Do you need to? Then I looked at it a little bit differently. But it's hard when you see, as you said, people doing announcements. So you're thinking, well, I've been a creator for 4 years and no one's ever asked to manage me. So it's the whole industry, to be fair.
Do you know what? I remember you saying to me as well that you weren't sure. You just assumed that people would just come to you. Like you thought you'd have to wait around and be like, oh yeah, I thought someone's messaged.
I thought you just wait and someone says, can we manage you?
Yeah, but that's the thing. But I think, as I said to you, like, it's also the other way around, where like, if you want to be managed by someone, then reach out. What I would say is practice some level of discernment of like, what am I offering? Because I think that's one thing, and this is the issue that I think a lot of managers don't speak about, and you need to be real about it. Look, we're a business. So in terms of how most management agencies work, is that you take a percentage of whatever the creator earns, right? If the creator isn't earning anything, then you're not making anything. So as a creator, if you've never signed off a brand deal in your life, do you know what I mean? Like genuinely, like from a business perspective, and if you're a creator, you should start thinking like a business person, because if you want to make money out of it, it's a business. Does it make sense for you to sign to an agency who's then going to do a bunch of work for you for 20% of zero?
Yes.
No?
Very true.
Not saying that you have to have loads of brand deals under your belt to go and get a manager, but there is some level of reflection on, okay, cool, what am I offering this person and what are they offering me? And I do see a lot of creators that come to me and I'm like, you haven't reflected on how this relationship is even going to work.
But that's because of the misconception of just, it's like a shiny
definitely. I think a lot of people think that managers make influencers, and that's not our job at all. Like, you need to already be a creator, be doing something for you to come to management. Like, we don't just wave a magic wand. My dad always says, really randomly, my dad looks exactly like, have you met Effie?
No.
One of our talent, I'll show you the picture later. My dad and Effie are twins.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. The guy with glasses.
Yeah. Yes. They look exactly the same. Yeah. There's a great picture of them meeting at our birthday. Fantastic. But they look like twins. My dad's always like, oh, make me an influencer. Dad, you literally don't use your phone. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's no magic wand I can wave to create an influencer.
You have to already...
This is it. Because the thing is, you see this a lot with a lot of reality TV stars, and this is why like a lot of people don't have longevity after they come off the show, because you've gone from like 0 to 100,000 million followers. To be fair, not as many as anymore, but still, like you come off, you get a lot of followers, but you don't actually enjoy creating. Like, you don't enjoy creating. There's nothing that you're particularly excited to show. So there's no longevity in it, because then you're forcing yourself to post because you now feel like, it's my job, I've got to post stuff, so I get brand deals and then I get paid and blah, blah, blah. Whereas actually with creators, you start sharing something because you're really passionate about something, or you want to teach people something.
For whatever reason, yeah.
Whatever it is. Like, you want to entertain, or you just showing up and just chatting shit, like whatever.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was like, trying not to look at you when I said it.
Opening the camera and talking rubbish, me, yes.
But that's the thing, but you started it probably with no like real level of, oh yeah, I'm gonna become,
no, I was bored.
I'm gonna go and meet Rihanna at the Fenty thing. You're not gonna do that.
I was bored in lockdown.
To be fair, who wasn't? Do you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
yeah.
Some people turn to dance, some people turn to whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're not starting it because you genuinely enjoy it, you're not going to enjoy it when you start making money. It's not like, oh, suddenly I make money, so now I'm happy about it. It's like a job. You don't just randomly become happy about something because you're making money. Like you maybe be happier because you're making money, but you don't randomly enjoy your job now. So I think, I see that a lot where people assume that we make creators when actually no, like you need to want to do this whether you're making money or not. And then you'll probably make more money from it anyway.
And I think that's why it's good to know you don't need management after week 1 of creating. No. Like, as you said, it needs to be a reason. So obviously in my example, I'll share about me. I am signed to Shift. Yeah, love it. And for me...
It's because I was trying to not hit the microphone.
So for me, I just got to a point where I was doing my 9 to 5 and I couldn't manage the amount of emails, trying to be creative. And then also I felt like the places I wanted to go, I just couldn't go there on my own. I didn't have the connects, I didn't have the resources. It was just a mess. And also, I saw Shift about 52 years ago on a show where, wow, what was it?
On Channel 4?
Yeah, was it like Love Island? What was it? After Love Island?
It was like Life After Love. Do you know what's mad? I haven't watched that show.
Oh, well, I
watched my section. I watched my section to check I didn't say anything stupid because
Life After Love Island, they made it seem a bit serious and scary. And then they had a bit where, I can't remember who it was, maybe was it a Kenna?
Yeah.
Came to your agency and you just spoke very matter of fact, bit like you do.
I also spoke really quickly. When I watched it, I was like, I sound like I'm on ×2 speed at all times.
So from when I watched that, I thought, this girl means business. That's what I thought. And then I just followed Shift for all the years. And then obviously you literally said to me, before you sign to anyone, shop around. Because in my mind, I was like, I want to be with Shift, okay? I've decided. And you were like, yeah, cool, but have you spoken to anybody else?
I did. I told you to go and talk to other people.
And I was like, listen, obviously, do you know what I mean? I'm focusing on you, you know? But you was like, F that, basically. Go shop around, then we'll chat.
Yeah.
And anyway, so then it's all worked out, it's all amazing, and we all love it, and I'm having a great time. Yeah.
But did you pretend to talk to other people?
No.
Like, Chloe, I've spoken to some other agencies. Have me.
I went on some other agencies' Instagrams. Yeah, I did.
No, because I remember you were saying you were talking to a few, and I remember saying, oh, those are actually good. Those are good agencies.
I was talking to a few, but my mind was set. So I knew what I wanted to do. And that is the end of that. But since I've been doing this, I just realized there are just too many misconceptions with everything. And also, when you are a small creator, I think people don't even understand what you should be negotiating, right? Mm-hmm. You're signing deals. You're signing your life away. No, but perpetuity.
But do you know what's mad though is that as a creator, you're expected to be a creator, a lawyer, and an accountant, and like all these different things because you're getting sent legal contracts.
Heavy on the lawyer bit.
That generally have been put together by literally a legal team to the point where quite often the people that are sending the contracts from the agencies don't even understand it. Like when I go back and like negotiate the contract, they have to go back to their legal team to even check what I've said because they don't understand the terms I've used. But then they expect some random person that's never read a contract in their life to just randomly understand it and then sign it. Mm-hmm. So,
that's one of the things people need to talk about more, the legal aspect. Yeah. But let's circle back to actual Shift. Obviously, it's an amazing situation.
Thanks.
Oh, we've also should shout out that you were Forbes 30 under 30.
I was.
That's quite serious.
Thank you.
I'm really happy about that.
It was. That was on my what's that thing? Vision board.
Vision board.
There we go.
That thing.
It was.
That is very sick.
The other things on my vision board. Not so much, but
that go back and find it and have a little read. But let's talk about you starting shifting. Obviously, what 3.5 years we're now in?
Yeah, back April 2021.
Yeah, 3.5 years. So talk to me about some of like what have been the challenges, what's been difficult about starting it?
So I think like business wise, when I started, I think I was aware of my values, but as a business, but I do think, and I feel like all business owners would probably say this, that it takes you a while to fully realize what the values and the what's the word? No, values is the word I'm looking for. What you stand for, essentially. And I think when I first started signing creators, I signed people, and it's not that I signed them knowing that they weren't aligned with what I wanted to do long term. I signed them and then I announced people too quickly, where after a few months I was like, actually, these people don't work for the what
they don't align with.
Yeah, it's not that they're bad creators, not that they're bad people. Just in terms of what I want Shift to stand for, these people won't make sense long term. So within the first like year of business, we had to drop people where it's quite hard. It's like hard to drop. It's like firing someone, but it's a weirder conversation.
A bit more emotional, maybe, I feel like.
It is. It's a lot because like, especially some of these people I had like good relationships with, and it feels like you're dumping someone. Yeah. But it's not like it's a business, and look, we're still cool, but like it doesn't make sense for you to be signed to us. And actually maybe it's that we're not the right people for you. So that was quite difficult in the first year, like really figuring out what it is that we stand for. However, I think from that first year onwards, we've stuck to what we stand for. So it's very much people are a good influence. So I think there's so much negativity on social media. I don't really want to add to it. So like I want to sign people that if I had kids, I'd be happy
for them to watch,
for them to be following. Exactly. Yeah. People that are good influence, people that are like just nice people. I've worked with people who just really aren't nice to work with. And I think how many hours I put into this job, you don't want to work with people who don't like have some level of respect for you, and like how much like your time, and actually the fact that you're also a human being like outside of your 9-to-5 job. So they have to be nice people. I also think I worked for agencies where they were so much more focused on money than they were of their team, that I ended up managing people who were really horrible to me, but they were making enough money for the business that like doesn't really matter. Cared. And like I refuse to ever do that. Like if people are being horrible to my team,
see you later.
You're gone. Like I don't care how much money you're making us, you're gone. Because actually, when you nourish your team, everything else will be good, because talent can come and go and whatever, but actually it's your team that's staying, and the team that's working behind the scenes. And I'd rather collectively we all respected each other and was working hard together, like, because we don't work for talent and talent don't work for us. Like we have to work together.
It's a partnership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Like I think a lot of those values had to be, I think you have to go through periods of like, oh, this person doesn't work, to even know what does work. So that was the first year, which was quite difficult. I also think because of the hiring structure, we haven't grown as quickly as we could have. If I was hiring people from other agencies that already knew how to manage people, could quickly sign people, we could be like way bigger. Not that that's actually even really my goal. I don't particularly want to be some massive company. But because we've hired people at entry level, I then had to train them, which is quite a long process.
Of course.
And obviously I'm also doing my job while training people. So it's taken longer for people to get to a place where I can just like pass people over to them and they're managing people. So I don't regret that in any way, but it's still been a difficulty of like the training. And I also think we hired both the junior people quite close together, which wasn't a smart idea from me. Because,
oh, really?
Yeah, because I was training both of them at the same time. But I think...
Interesting. So they couldn't learn from each other necessarily.
Yeah. So it was only me that was kind of... Because I'm the person who manages them. Like Adam does all of the offline stuff and I manage the team and do the talent stuff. So I think that was a difficulty. And I think my learning from that was that... And this is something I've probably done throughout my life, is that I expect people to just be like me, basically. I'm just like, oh...
Interesting.
So I progressed in the industry super quickly. So I started at my first job, as I say, literally knowing absolutely nothing.
Didn't even follow anybody, apparently.
Didn't follow people when I got there. I was like... what?
Mass following.
Yeah, I've been following them for years. But yeah, so started there from zero. Got promoted after 4 months and like had a full roster of talent, was doing contracts, everything within like 3-4 months. Then got poached by another agency, which then like I went up into, that was after a year, jumped up another level, basically built that agency for them. Then after that, I started my own company. So I was actually only in the industry technically for like 2 and a bit years before I started Shift.
That is mad.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'll hire people and
it will just work as quickly.
Yeah, that'll be the same thing. So I think Adam had like a similar-ish trajectory where like he'd progressed quite quickly. So I was like, okay, cool. Like we'll hire someone after like maybe I'll give them 6 months.
Everything will be good to go.
This is it. But like it doesn't work like that. And actually, I think that was a learning for myself where I'm like, I need to stop putting my own expectations on other people.
That's so interesting.
So, and that, to be fair, that was quite difficult for me where I was like, oh, like, come on, like be quicker. When actually, no. Like when I look at everyone else in the industry, not even on a flex, like people aren't progressing that quickly. So like it's more like me and Adam are more the anomaly than the norm. So I shouldn't have had that expectation on people. But again, it took me to be in that situation to learn that I shouldn't have done it. And I hope I've been better now to be like, you know, like take time. But also like, let's get it going.
Find the in between, you know, basically.
Balance. So yeah, I think that was a mistake from me where I hired people too quickly together.
But it's good to be able to even reflect on that, because some people could have just spent the whole time being like, well, why don't you just learn quicker like me? Why don't you just hurry up? But also, everybody learns things at different rates and in different ways as well. So exactly. That's really important as well.
Exactly. I've tried to allow that as well, where I'm like, you don't have to do things in the exact same way that I'm doing it. Like, I'll show you how to do it, but then figure out your own processes that work for you. Because again, I think I saw that where, to be fair, mainly because there were shit processes, but like I was at other companies, I'm like, it would make way more sense for me to do it this way. Yeah. But I had to do it in the way that they were telling me to do. And I could have been getting so much more done. People are very inefficient, generally.
As a society.
We're a very inefficient society. It's very, people should be more like South London. Do you know what I mean? You're direct.
It's very true. You learn a lot. This is why it always comes back to South London.
You know what I mean?
That's where the
beginning.
I feel
like we haven't shouted out the fact that like, my tattoo. Do you not know I've got a tattoo of South?
No, I don't. Let's have a little look, cheeky look there. Wow, you are diehard. I've got Brooklyn, which is not the South.
Why the hell have you got that?
Because I was born there. But that's
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born there, so you know.
So you're not from the South.
Oh, I feel like I've just outed myself. Hold on a minute. Can we just go? Hold on. Let me just clear some things up, because there's a bit of a rumor starting on this couch. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, until I was 7, and then I moved to South.
This is making it better. This is making it worse. I thought at least if it was like 1, do you know what I mean? 7.
Yeah, okay. Wait, just let me land the plane. Then when I was 7, I moved to London, South London. I've lived in London for 21 years, South London. But can I just say something as well? People say that New York is similar to South London.
Where are your parents from?
Okay, my mum is from Nottingham. Not from South London either. My dad's from Guyana. Okay, it's getting worse. Okay, should we get back to the questions?
Just throwing it out there. My mum and dad are both from South London.
Okay.
So my mum's from Camberwell, my dad's from Peckham.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Well, that's how hard it is here. And I genuinely thought you were from South London.
Okay, this is really awkward. Because I think I am from there. No,
you live there. You live there.
But we'll just discuss this off camera.
You're like those people that move to Clapham.
So she just moved back to the gentrifier. You just call me at 7 years old. You can't gentrify at 7. Because guess what? I lived in an estate as well, and it's knocked down now. So I'm really, I've really been through things. So should we go back to you then?
Yeah, sorry.
This isn't about me. This is about you. So for young professionals trying to get into the industry, like, what advice would you give to them?
I think this is, again, going back to like the whole, you're seeing other people do it, so you feel like you need to do it as well. I think there's a massive thing where it's like, if you're not working for yourself, then you're failing. And I completely disagree with that. If I had worked for a company where I felt happy and valued and like I could progress, I would have never started my own company, because it's actually stress. It's actually stress managing your own company. I think there needs to be less stigma on actually just working for a company and like
just getting on with it,
progressing and just like actually having real autonomy in a company. What's it called? It's called like an
entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
I learned this the other day. Yeah, there's 2 different ones.
Yeah.
So what does intra mean?
I think entrepreneur is when you work for a company, but you've got like an entrepreneurial spirit where you're like,
got it,
get like doing projects and getting stuff done and that kind of thing. And I think there's, to be fair, like, people need to work for companies. Not everyone can be their own boss, but I think a lot of people think it's like a real win to start your own company, when actually it's definitely a real win to be in a company and just be doing sick in your company.
Very
or even
true.
Not being doing sick, just having a great time.
Or just either, or anything, It's your life.
I think people need to stop putting that stigma on it. So I think what I would say is that if you're getting into the creative industry, personally, I think it's best to start working for a small company where you can like actually be close to the boss, or like have that level of interaction with someone who actually is creating it and whatever. I think the bigger the company you go to, especially when you're junior, the less anyone actually cares about what you're doing.
That's actually so true. Do
you know what I mean?
That is actually so true. I've only ever worked in big company, well, relatively big. Like the smallest company I worked for, the staff, there was 200 staff, and that's the smallest. That's crazy.
I think that's probably like one of the biggest companies I've worked for. So like,
but to me that was kind of small.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, so I think if you work for a small company, I think you can learn a lot quicker because you're actually giving responsibility. I think when you start at a big company, you can just be doing coffees and just be doing basic emails, because if you're there, if you're not, it doesn't really matter. Whereas when you're of a small company, you're actually important to that company. I also think if it's like a kind of startup, you have a bit more say in how the business works. Generally, like what the business becomes. You can then progress to a point where now you're like, realistically, the junior team that have come in, they could be the CEO of the company. Like, one day I'm not trying to do it. So like, they could be, do you know what I mean? They could be the managing director. They could be someone mad high because they've grown with the company. So I would personally say at least start with a small company. Obviously, jump to a bigger company if you want to. But I think as an entry level person, start a small company. I also think, I saw this, I don't know if this is a Gen Z thing, and I actually don't want to put stigma on Gen Zs because you're Gen Z, aren't you? Sure.
I'll be honest, I think I'm the cusp.
You're not, you're okay. Gen Z.
There's a lot going on today.
Just being outed.
Really targeted. Are you sure I'm Gen Z?
You are. I think Gen Z is from 96.
And I'm 1995, and that's why I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp. I've Googled it.
Okay, maybe you're not.
Thank you. I'm whatever you are.
Yeah, I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennials. Anyway, back to Gen Zers. You were going to cuss them.
So I wasn't going to cuss them. Don't come for me. So when the second job posting we put out, we stupidly put on TikTok, which I'm never doing again.
Interesting.
It went viral.
Actually, I saw it. Yeah,
it went viral. It got like 60 something thousand views, and I was seeing the views racking up like, because my whole thing is that because of how we're hiring, I will read every single. I read every single thing. Like I don't delete anyone. Like I read every single thing. Obviously, there's some level of like, if you've just sent me a CV with no email, obviously I'm not gonna hire you. Do you know what I mean? But like generally, I'll read everything. So as I was seeing the numbers click up, I was like, I don't have enough time to do this. Anyway, because of the fact it went viral on TikTok, we had a lot of Gen Z like coming. Well, to be fair, we probably would have anyway, just because of the like it's entry level and how old people would be. So we had a lot of Gen Zs applying, and I saw a lot of it where there was some level of entitlement, basically, where it was like, oh, I want this job, so like,
just give it to me.
Surely you should just hire me. Someone, no, it's not how it works actually. But I think it was weird. Like it's definitely not that Gen Zs are lazy, because it's not. I think there's a lot of rhetoric around that, and that's not true. But I think there's a level of like different generations have been told different things, right? Like I think we were the first generation to be told that we could do anything.
Yes,
like,
that's very true.
Our parents' generation were told, no, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna go and get your job, you're gonna work, like you're gonna be a mum or whatever. We were told we could do anything, and I think Gen Zs were told they could be even more than anything.
I know, and I don't even know what that means. Right? Like,
and I think the thing is fair, like because they've got like instant access to so much information that like growing up we didn't really have, and I think because of that, there's some level of like everything is finite. Like there's dating apps where you've got 10 million options of dating, you've got 10 million options of jobs, where there was some level of, when I was reading through a lot of the applications, definitely not all of them, there was some level of like, you haven't even bothered to make an effort applying.
I've heard there's a rise in ChatGPT applications. See,
it wasn't really around when we were hiring. But I'm really good at figuring. I talk like AI anyway, so I can clock when people have used AI. Like I understand. I'm really good with AI, so I can tell, because most people aren't good with AI. So when they send you something with AI, you can tell it's AI.
Okay, fair.
When I send you something with AI,
you won't know.
You'd never know.
Can you please teach me off air?
I will.
Thanks.
I will. But so there wasn't really that when we were hiring, because bear in mind, this was like 2 years ago. So. But yeah, it was just a lot of just minimal effort. And I think what made people stand out were people that had like taken that initiative of like, do you know what? I'm going to do more than what they're asking of me. Like, cool, they've asked me for a CV and cover letter. Mm-hmm. To be fair, I didn't really care about the CV because I'm not actually really looking at like past experience. But CV and cover letter, there was one girl who she made basically a Netflix landing page of like her, basically she made that sick. Her CV and her cover letter. Okay. And you didn't click through, but it was like the different pages and you went, like the different profiles and things like that. I thought you put mad effort into this, even if you haven't given me any information that I need. Like,
okay.
You've really gone above and beyond to make an effort to apply to. That shows me that you really want this job. There was another girl that did, you know, what's her name? What's her name? Legally Blonde. What's her name? Elle Woods. She did, I don't know if you remember the Elle Woods application for uni, where she was like in the swimming pool and she's like, oh, this is why,
yeah. Oh yes, I do know, yeah.
I object and shit like that.
Yeah.
Basically, the girl had done that and like created a video.
Wow, these people are really going for it.
This is what I'm saying. And like, they didn't get the job, but
but they
that's the thing. But all of those people skipped steps and they stood out and just went straight to interview, because like you've really shown me that you're trying. I think there's a lot of conversation online where it's like, if you're not getting paid for this thing, then you shouldn't do this thing. And 100% don't be doing too much.
For free.
But at the same time, if you're trying to show your manager, one day I'm trying to be you can't just be doing the bare minimum, because I promise you your manager, well, to be fair, some managers did do the bare minimum, but generally, you're going to need to do something more. And I think there needs to be some level of 100%, like don't do like way more than your job, because I think there's a lot of jobs that expect that of you, where it's like, oh, we're paying you this much, but we want you to do this person's job.
Yeah.
But it is sometimes having your, like, bringing your own initiative of like, do you know what, I can see there's a gap here. Let me see how I can solve it. Because I remember one of my internships when I was younger when I started the internship, the training of it wasn't very good. And because people were so busy, they didn't really have time to like sit down with me and like go through really simple things of like, where's this folder and how do I do this? So what I did, because to be fair, I've always been someone who just like finishes work really quickly and then I just get really bored and then I just sit and do whatever. Because I'd done all the work that I needed to do for like that day or that week, I decided I was going to make a booklet for future interns because they had an internship program every year. So I made a whole booklet
those people that don't have time to
literally linked through to every single piece of information they would ever need.
We need more people like you.
That's the thing, but like no one asked me to do it because if they asked me, then I'd be like,
I'm not doing that. It's not my job.
It's not my job. But I took the initiative of, do you know what? I'm sitting around. I've actually done all my work for the day. Rather than sitting around and scrolling on whatever.
Might as well do something productive.
Let me actually do something. And to be fair, I found it fun. But I think there is a level of like see gaps and like fill them in it. Like figure out what you can actually add to the company because that will make you a lot less disposable. Where it's like, do you know what? If you left, then now I've got all these things to do that I can't do. But as I say, it's definitely not telling people to come and do your boss's job because I've definitely had that before where it's like, oh, to be promoted you have to do your boss's job. No, you promote me and then I'll do my boss's job.
Yeah, I hear it.
So I think it's finding that balance of like adding a bit extra but not going too far where you're
doing
they're taking the piss out of you basically.
Yeah. So you got to find the balance. So where do you see Shift going? Like what is your dream? Because you've already mentioned you don't see it with thousands of staff.
I don't want it to be a big company.
Okay, well there's that. Number one. So what is the vision? What's the goal?
Well, to be fair, the reason I don't want it to be some massive agency is because I think the boutique nature of our agency is like one of our strengths where we actually have a relationship with our talent. And we can keep that boutique nature while growing because we limit the amount of talent each manager has. So you'll always have that relationship. And I hope that to some level, or like the management team as it grows, will always have the relationship with the talent where it's not just like you only talk to your manager and that's it. You don't know anyone else within the company. So I want it to grow in a boutique fashion and in a sustainable fashion. Because again, a lot of people grow unsustainably and then like they fall apart because their team isn't ready.
Too big, too quickly.
That's when people aren't training. It's a mess. So I'm about sustainable growth. I think from like a service level, I think I definitely want more like offline stuff going on. So we've got, by the time this comes out, we would have 2 book deals announced. We've had one already, but like we've got one coming out this week actually.
And maybe a third one.
This is it. But that's the thing, like there's definitely more book deals coming. Like more podcasts. More podcasts, like hopefully next year we'll have some products out with one of our talent that we've been working on for a while now. So more of that kind of stuff, because I really think it's important for creators to be doing more than just brand deals, because you can't rely on brands to pay your bills.
Very true.
Brands are fickle. Like they'll like you one day, they won't like you another day. They'll work with people, they won't work with people, and it's not okay to let the power be in their hands.
It's also not consistent.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, one month you can get loads, and then for 3 months you don't get anything. Do you know what I mean? So I think the more you can diversify and have some level of autonomy over your own earnings, the better. So we're trying our best to do that with talent, where they've got stuff going on outside of just brands paying them to promote things. But no, I think I'm not really like a long-term goals person, because I'm the kind of person that once I say something, it's getting done. So I get scared.
So you can't.
I get scared about saying certain things. So I'm like, oh, now I'm stuck in forever. So I think I don't really say, oh, it's my 5-year, 10-year goal. But I think what we've created in Shift in terms of like it being a good workplace, and like personally I think a good company, I just want that to continue and like just grow in that way. I hope that sooner or later I can step back from it, because I'm actually tired and I need to not fully step back, but like I soon I need to step back from the day-to-day management of talent, because like I want to work on more business stuff, and it's hard to do that when you're doing the day-to-day talent stuff. And I want to be able to manage the team.
Time consuming, I assume.
100%. So I think I want to step back to be able to do like more team development and like business development, as well as obviously talent development, but more on like a grander scale than just like working with my individual
What would
people.
It take for you to be able to make some steps back?
It's growing the team. But again, that's the thing, like because of how we're hiring, it's always going to take longer for that to happen, which I don't regret, and I don't want to be like, you know what, I'm kind of bored of this now, like let me just hire some people from another agency. Because that's the thing, that would be the easiest thing to do, just poach someone from another agency and then just let them get on with things, because realistically they're not going to work in the way that Shift works. And Shift has got quite a good reputation of like, we're mad efficient, because we are efficient. We're like super efficient.
Silent plug.
We to the point where like agencies come to us when they've got a short turnaround campaign, because they know we respond within a couple of hours, whereas other agencies will take days to respond. I don't understand how you do that. That must be so anxiety.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't even know you you have that kind of time in this industry. Even before I was signed, like everything seemed really very fast.
Yeah.
Like they email you need to be responding today, if not tomorrow.
That's it. So yeah, because that's the thing, like I clear my inbox every day. So like I'd never have emails rolling onto unless they email me at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, but I always clear my inbox because it is a very fast-paced industry.
Yeah.
Which again is why it's harder to do bigger picture stuff, because it's like you always have to be on ready to respond to people. What was I saying? I went off on a tangent.
No, you didn't. It was me that kind of threw you off.
You did. What's saying, man?
You're talking about working efficiently.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was saying that Shift has a reputation of working efficiently, and like if we were to poach someone from another agency and come in, realistically, even if they come from a sick agency, they're not going to work to our processes, because our processes are good, and that's why we're really efficient. Where like nothing can really get dropped because I've designed a process that basically everything's just running. It makes everyone's lives easier. It's like very much work smart, not hard.
Yeah, of course.
So I think because of that we won't grow as quickly, but as I say, I'm not that fast. But it then also means that it was going to take longer for me to be able to step back from it. But as I say, I'm very much, I haven't mentioned this actually, but like I'm not focused on money. Like I'm a business owner, but I'm not focused on money, because actually when you focus on everything else, money will come. And we have been a highly profitable like in agency. We've been in profit from day one.
Amazing.
So I think because I'm not focused on money, if I was, I'd be like, let's just hire everyone.
Yeah.
We're gonna sign everyone. Deal. It don't matter if they're good for us or not. We're gonna take every deal. Like, don't matter if it's a shit deal for our talent. We're gonna take it because that will be 10K for us. And like we've turned down like tens of thousands of pounds.
Yeah, I know.
Deals because it doesn't work. I know. Do you know what I mean? No, because the thing is, you have to. Like,
and that is, I will just add, that's something that's really sick about Shift, because I feel like a lot of talent agencies, anything comes through the door, it's like tick.
Whereas they'll see 10K and they're like,
let's
fantastic.
go. Whereas in my experience, you guys have been like, I don't know if this is right for you. Maybe you shouldn't take this because of X, Y, and Z. And then because I trust you guys, I'm like, yeah, that would be so nice, my bank account. Yeah, it would. But I'm going to think about it.
It's long term, because you take that 10K now, great, you got 10K, but you're not going to get 10K next year because no one trusts you anymore, because you've now said that this other lip gloss is the best lip gloss you've ever done.
And I would never say that.
But that's the thing. But you know what I mean? Like, because realistically, another lip gloss company could come and be like, oh yeah, we're going to pay 10K to say this is the best lip gloss you've ever done. When actually, realistically,
we know what the best lip gloss is.
This is what I'm saying, because that's a brand that people know you for.
Yeah, it's very true.
Not saying that you don't use other lip glosses,
but that's what I appreciate about Shift, and I hope other talent agencies can work in it, because I'm not with anyone else. I hope they work in similar ways where it's like, this is actually what's good for the creator.
There's some, but there's more that don't than do, and I do think that's why there's other small agencies that are in like kind of similar circles to us, that even when you were telling me who else you wanted, like potentially wanted to speak to, I was like 100% go and chat to them, because like I trust that they would also represent you well. There's other agencies that you could have mentioned to me where I've been like, maybe don't. I would have said something cool, so there was no paper trail, but like there's definitely agencies who are very focused on money. And I think any agency that's got targets for individual creators, any agency that's like, you got to make minimum X amount per month, I would steer clear, because if they're not happy for you to not make money, then they're going to be putting you on a path where it maybe isn't the right path for you. And also, even from like a mental health perspective, you should feel okay to be like, do you know what, I actually want to take a month off,
and
I'm not going to be like, oh, you're not making me any money, what are you doing? Like, go for it, innit? Like, take time off. I hope people say no. It's actually a red flag for me when I've signed people and they don't say no to anything, because I'm like, what's that thing? If you stand for everything,
you get nothing. If you stand for nothing, you get everything. If you stand for it all,
you'll fall for something.
You'll fall for it all. Do you know what?
Someone's going to know what we're talking
saying. So why am I trying to get involved? If you stand
for nothing, you'll fall for
anything. And that's
you tried to finish it and you didn't.
The moral of the story is discernment.
There you go.
Thank you.
Just use the one
Loop
word.
it back around to discernment. Thank you. Discernment is key. And on that, I'm going to ask you a finalmente question. Do you think baby Chloe would be proud of where you are today?
Not joking.
Yeah.
I don't really cry. Wait, babe. Yeah, I think when I was at school, I breezed through school from a academic point of view, but I actually really struggled through school because it wasn't designed for me. And I think throughout my life, I was doing things to like prove to other people that I could do them, because generally people would be like because I was so naughty in school, people assumed I was stupid. And then they would see my grades,
which
and
happens a lot.
Raw. So I think because of that, I felt like I always had to prove myself to people. And I think I'm now in a place where I don't think I'm doing that anymore. And to be fair, that's like, no matter what I've like done. To be fair, Forbes was the last thing where I was like,
tick.
But I will say I was definitely doing that for myself, because I was like, do you know what? Like, I would love to see people. To be fair, we have in the past few years, like a lot of my friends have been on it as well, and like I think I would have loved to see people that look like me being in those kinds of positions when I was younger. So I think, I'm proudest of myself that I'm to the most part, I'm doing things for myself rather than for other people, which I definitely spent the majority of my life doing. Not even particularly trying to impress people, just wanting people to understand what my value was. Whereas like, I don't really care in it. Like,
period.
I'm all right. It's all right.
Well, and on that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
It was an amazing cheeky chat. You did out me quite a few times.
My friend, you outed yourself.
I've moved past it, and I think we can carry on from here. But
you will be dropped.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna drop me. Been signed for 1 minute, but like, this girl's moving from South. How can we trust her?
I signed her.
Jeez,
it's true. You lied to me.
Okay, we can pick this up later. Yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you've been watching, if you haven't been, I have been Kimberly Cumberbatch, and it has been
Chlöe Downes.
Thank you for doing that ending so well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.